Hello, and in this video I'm going to tell you guys the cheapest 40k army to start. Before we begin, if you'd like to see more videos like this one, please hit the subscribe button somewhere down here and smash the bell button in and you'll never miss an upload. Before we begin, I will say this, we're going to do it in two parts. The first part is going to be the one that you normally see, the literal best and cheapest way to start a 40k army. The second part will be the actual cheapest in money, which is what most people want but never get on YouTube. So what I will do is I will now pause it and I will put something on the screen to tell you how many seconds in you want to be skipping to see the start of that section. Boom. However, the cheapest and actual best way to pick a 40k army is to pick the right army. What do I mean by the right army? Well, the right army is the one that you're going to buy once. You're not going to buy a second army. You're not going to buy 3 armies, 4 armies until you figure out what the best one is. So, how do you go about doing that? Well, one way of doing it is to go onto Google, which is always a good thing, and go onto Games Workshop's own website, have a little peruse of the selection. Obviously, select the Warhammer 40k heading, and it should bring you down a list of army names. Obviously, have a little look at them. Have a look through, probably have a look at the troop choices, because it'll bring you another heading, and maybe the character models. Have a little look about until you find at least one army that you like the look of or you find really interesting. So obviously the game is a visual game, because if it wasn't we'd be playing with little counters and paper bits or whatever, but it is a visual game overall, so you need to find something that you like the look of. That is important. So the next thing you do is you go and you research the lore or the fluff for your army. So the fluff or the lore is the backstory behind the army. It's usually a drive, something that they do which causes them to fight. So for orcs, it's basically they just like to fight. That is what their society is built around, is fighting. So they just will fight anyone. Tyranids are looking for biomass, basically life, and they drain life from planets and basically eat everything. That's what they do. But that tells you what the army does on the field and why they're there, which helps you invest more, not just money. I mean, that's the thing. But it also helps you invest in here and gets you more into the army. So the next, or the last little things that you can do is when you've picked the army, you've read the fluff, you go, yeah, that really resonates with me, I like it. Then maybe watch a couple of battle reports. So a battle report is basically the game that we play. People film it, people like to watch it. So it's like anything, like football. It can, to an extent, be a spectator sport, not when you're all stood around one table, because that's tricky. But over the powers of the internet and videos, it's pretty good. And it helps you get an idea of how they play. Now, you'll have to watch a couple, not necessarily everything all the way through, but you might get an idea of how they play. Now, that can change depending on the meta and all the rest of it. We'll go into that in another video, but it's basically what's going on at the time. Another tip is to look at painting videos. Now, this doesn't have to be to do with a specific army that you've chose. You might really like a paint scheme, we'll say with like Eldar Craft Worlds, and you might want to put like a red and white scheme onto your Catachans. You might really want them on your Ultramarines, your Space Marines, not Ultramarines, but Space Marines. You can do that and have a look. One good channel to watch is the Apathetic Fish. Hopefully, if I've had any sense, there might be some links, but I might not be that sensible. Just search him on YouTube and you'll find a pretty good painter. Last top tip, I believe, the last top tip is to buy one box. Don't buy 500 boxes. You could start with a start collecting box set because it's not overly much of an investment. What you should do is buy a troop choice. So if you are picking the Imperial Guard or Military Term, you'd probably pick up a box of Cadian Infantry Squad. If it's Space Marines, buy a Tactical Squad. I mean, you could even buy the small box, £10 in England, £10. easy to build kits. Now they're good because you're not spent an whole lot. You can get practice on painting them. You can maybe play them in a small force, but it does allow you to get a little bit of a bit of a game, and it does also allow you to start with minimal cost. It basically allows you to have a taster without spending hundreds and hundreds of pounds on something that you'll never keep. That way, at the end of all that, if you followed all those tips before, you will have the cheapest army. So it sounds cheesy, but the army that you get, which is the best one for you, is going to be the cheapest. As I said, probably in the intro or somewhere around that, you're going to be spending less money on less models, and you're going to be focused on one army. So it means you're going to be spending a lot less money. So that is literally the cheapest and best way to do it. So now we've got the proper way to do it. Now we'll get to the nitty gritty, the actual money side of it, on literally the cheapest 500 point army that you can start for Warhammer 40k. So as I mentioned there, we're doing them in 500 points. So the cheapest you can get for 500 points for the top 3 armies that I found. Now there could be better ones, so if anyone's got any heads up down below, put them in the comments to help everyone else. The other thing I'll say to you is, I haven't included start collecting box sets. So the reason I haven't done that is because every now and again they'll change, and this will become invalid. Let's say in a year's time they change the Orc box or the Necron box. That change, it's actually changed quite recently. But if it changes again, or they stop doing them altogether, which I don't think they will, but they could do, then it's going to invalidate the video and it's not going to be helpful. So the best way to do it might be to get the start collecting box set. Without the starting collecting box sets, this is the best way to do it. So the first on the list, which is the third in line, is going to be Orcs. So what I did was, I had a look through the website, and this is using Games Workshop's money, so you can get it cheaper than this if you go to places like Triple Helix, Element Games, Wayland Games, Goblin Gaming, all the rest of it. You can get these cheaper doing it that way. However, so the first thing you get, I'm kind of consulting my list here, so bear with me. The first thing you would get would be the Orcs Grux mob, which is the HQ, which is a war boss, and knobs in the box. So that gives you 1 HQ and 1 elite. You'd also get 1 box of Orc Boys. And for this one, we've gone for a box of killer cans, which you can make into 1 unit or 3 units of 1. Obviously, probably best to stick to 3, but that way you've got a HQ, elite, and troops and heavy support. So you've got at least a patrol detachment. That rounded out to be about 475 points, and I'm sure you could do better with upgrades, so you could probably take it beyond that if you really wanted to. And that was £78 and 50 English pounds. That's for a 500 point army of Orcs. So second on the list is the Adeptus Custodes. With the Adeptus Custodes, you would buy 2 box sets of the Custodian Guard. Yep, that's what I've got on here. And out of this box set, you would build 1 Shield Captain, which actually shows you instructions how to do. It's not a homemade one, it's an official way to do it. So you can do it officially. And you would build 2 units of Custodian Guard, 3 and 4 unit. Now you can load it out however you want, but the loadout, the points wise, I got to was 498, which is 2 points of 500. You could do it probably better. And in fact, there's also an elite choice you can use, which is basically like a standard bearer, which can affect the units as well. But I didn't include that in there, but you can do that if you wish. I basically went with the Custodian Guard. So for 2 Custodian Guard boxes, that is £70 from Games Workshop. Again, there's discount shops. So that is a whole £8.50 cheaper than the Orcs one. Move on to the number 1 spot. So at the number 1 spot on the cheapest 500 point army is it's Grey Knights. So Grey Knights, for this you would buy 2 boxes of the Terminators / Paladins box set. So out of that you can build a Grandmaster, You can build 3 paladins. I think you probably could build another one if you really wanted to, but the points didn't allow it at this point, so you actually have more for your money. And the rest of them you would build as 5 Terminator, Grey Knight Terminators. So that would give you 1 elite choice, 1 HQ choice, and 1 troop choice. You'd have 3 units for the price of basically 2 box sets. So that came out at, let me find it, 484 points. So again, you could probably do better with upgrades, or maybe another little addition here and there. But 484 points, you have spent 54 English pounds. Again, you can make this a lot better by going on other websites, going on eBay, picking up that way. But if you get those box sets, you can build those units for 500 points, or slightly less, or thereabouts. So now we're going to do a quick end of the video. So the end of the video, basically what we're going to tell you is, if you have skipped ahead, consider watching the other part of the video, because it will give you a broader view of the whole thing. Now you can do both parts of this video if you wish, which would be lovely. So if I've missed anything and you've seen a better combination, a cheaper price, not necessarily websites, I'll start collecting box sets, as I've already mentioned. Put them down below. If there's a cheaper army, I would love to hear about it, and I'll do another video if I am in fact wrong, which I could be. I always reserve the right to retract my statement. So comments down below, because it'll also help you guys or the other guys. So please, please, please comment down below. And I think we're going to call it there. So thank you very much, and see you next time.